The origin of solar eclipses. Solar eclipses have historically been viewed as omens that bring about death and destruction. But in reality, they are harmless, and they even help prove Einstein's theory of relativity. The word eclipse comes from Eclipses, the ancient Greek word for being abandoned. Solar eclipses can come about during the moon's orbit around the Earth. With the moon slides between the sun and the Earth, there is a solar eclipse. If the moon's orbit around the Earth lay in the same plane as the Earth's orbit around the sun, there would be a solar eclipse every orbit, namely at new moon, as the two orbital planes are tilted towards one another. However, eclipses are relatively rare occurrences. On average, there are 2 solar eclipses per year. From a single location on Earth, a total solar eclipse can only be observed on average every 375 years. Total solar eclipses differ in length, depending on the diameters of the Sun and the Moon currently observable. The maximum theoretical duration of a total solar eclipse for a fixed place on Earth is 7 minutes and 31 seconds. The first German translation of Sacrobasco-Sphäre by Konrad Heinvogel describes how solar eclipses come into being. A later edition of Sacrobasco-Sphäre, annotated by Melanchthon, explains that a solar eclipse is not visible in the same way everywhere on Earth. Surviving records have shown that the Babylonians and the ancient Chinese were able to predict solar eclipses as early as 2500 BC. In China, solar eclipses were thought to be associated with the health and success of the emperor, and failing to predict one meant putting him in danger. Legend has it that 2 astrologers, Shi and Ho, were executed for failing to predict a solar eclipse. Historians and astronomers believe that the eclipse that they failed to forecast occurred on October 22, 2134 BC, which would make it the oldest solar eclipse ever recorded in human history. The British astronomer and mathematician, Sir Arthur Eddington, used a total solar eclipse of May 29, 1919 to test Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity. By taking pictures of stars near the sun during totality, Eddington was able to show that gravity can bend light. This phenomenon is called gravitational deflection. How many eclipses happens in a year? Most calendar years have 2 solar eclipses. The maximum number of solar eclipses that can take place in the same year is 5, but this is rare. According to NASA calculations, only about 25 years in the past 5,000 years have had 5 solar eclipses. The last time this happened was in 1935, and the next time will be in 2206. Types of solar eclipses. There are 3 main types of solar eclipses: total solar eclipses, annular eclipses, and the partial solar eclipses. In addition, there are hybrid solar eclipses, also called annular total eclipses, when an annular eclipse changes into a total eclipse, or vice versa. When does a solar eclipse occur? Solar eclipses only occur around the new moon because of the alignment of Earth, the moon, and the sun, which happens at that time. But this does not mean that eclipses of the sun happen every new moon. The new moon also has to be near a lunar node. This can only happen during a period of time that occurs a little less than every 6 months and lasts, on average, around 34.5 days. This period is called the eclipse season, and it is the only time that eclipses take place. The lunar nodes are the 2 points where the plane of the moon's orbital path around Earth meets Earth's orbital plane around the sun. The ecliptic. The plane of the moon's path around the Earth is inclined at an angle of approximately 5 degrees to the ecliptic. Solar versus lunar eclipses. Even though solar eclipses occur every year, they are considered a rare sight, much rarer than a lunar eclipse. This is because while a solar eclipse is only visible from a very narrow path on Earth, a lunar eclipse is visible from every location on the night side of the Earth while it lasts. The lunar month is the period it takes the moon to go through all the moon phases from a new moon to the next, and it lasts, on average, 29.5 days. This is 5 days less than an eclipse season. Therefore, there will always be at least one new moon, resulting in a solar eclipse, and at least one full moon, resulting in a lunar eclipse, during each eclipse season. This is also why solar and lunar eclipses come in pairs. A solar eclipse always takes place either about 2 weeks before or after a lunar eclipse, and vice versa. At most, there can be 2 new moons and 1 full moon, or 2 full moons and 1 new moon in the same eclipse season. Watch out for more of these contents. Please subscribe to my channel for more. Stay blessed and enjoy the eclipse.